Welcome UniData customer. This video is trying to explain UniData Schema 4.0 and 6.0. UniData Schema 4.0 actually is start UniData version 4.1 until to UniData 6.0 we start to support another schema. On the new schema 6.0 is more flexible, more efficient to working with the schema. Right now, about only 5% customer still using 4.0. Even today, UniData is 8.2. UniData schema 4.0 is still supported, but we don't know. This schema is already 20 years. We might drop the support on the new UniData version. So we suggest to move UniData schema 4.0 structure to 6.0 structure. So first question is how to check the UniData schema version. They have a couple different ways to check a schema. They have 3 ways. Pretty simple. You can run list __ schema _ map, or you can see it's 4.0 or 6.0. Or you can just list the UD _ SQL tables, list the UniData file. Its file exists. That is a UniData schema 6.0. Otherwise, it's 4.0. You also can call the schema API called schema version check to see is UniData schema 4.0 or 6.0. So on the UniData schema version 4.0, you will see the file structure is different. So the couple file is the same, like a private file, _ schema _ map _ schema _ prop _ v view. This file is the same, but the other like a SQL column, SQL special column, SQL statistics, SQL tables, and all other file that is only exist on schema version 4.0. So inside this YouTube video, I also provide the tool you can download from the description field. You can delete, run the basic program to delete schema 4.0 _ all. But be careful on Windows. When you open it, the file might not be able to delete it. But you can look at the basic program to decide which file you want to delete it. So we suggest to upgrade 4.0 to 6.0. But how can you upgrade 4.0 to 6.0? Actually, it's pretty simple. You just need to run migrate.sql. The command must be run by root or administrator. So it's just one command, upgrade to 6.0. After 6.0 is upgraded, you cannot go back to 4.0 structure. So for the 6.0 schema file structure, there actually is only one major file called UD _ SQL tables. All the other like a SQL column, special column, statics, and tables, it will become the view. So also I have the program called delete _ schema 6.0 _ all. When sometime your schema is corrupted, basically you want to delete all the schema file, then recreate it. You can run VSG or run schema API to recreate it. But before you want to run this command, please make sure you have the backup. So when you have a problem, you can restore the schema file back to the original. So how UniData schema work? So from beginning, all UniData is called file. So for the file, you cannot run the SQL command. So first simple way to convert the UniData file become the UniData table is run called convert.sql command to convert the UniData file become the table. But you don't have any option to select the field. We also provide another way to convert UniData file become the table. Like you can use the visual schema or using the schema API. You can choose partial field to visible to you to ODBC client. So that way you can is more flexible to working on the table. But the file and the table name must be different. I will show you later. So after UniData became the table, so you can run UniData SQL command to select or update whatever to see it. But most of the customer were using ODBC client. They were using the subtable or view. Subtable is updatable the table. So you can use a VSG schema or schema API to create it, or using the you can create a view based on the table or based on the subtable. Then after you create it, more simple way, you can go to UniData, type in the SQL prompt to test any kind of SQL statement. So VSG is client-server tool. It's very old but still useful to create a schema. So before you want to use a VSG connect to your server, you have the UCI data source definition. Put it in the uci.config file. It's the text file. You can use in any editor to edit, or using the UCI editor to edit. So when you have created, and they call the server name, you can click it here to get a drawdown list, or this created in the uci.config file. The second field called database name. For UniData database name, it can be full path or is an alias name defined in the UD_database. So I will show you how to see the difference. So when you want to turn on the logging, then the database name must be defined in the UD_database file. Another thing is VSG tool. VSG tool, you can try to turn on the RPC logins. Then you can monitor each step on the VSG to see which schema API will be called inside the VSG tool. I also try to show you two simple schema API. So one is try to list the subtable, another is called list view. So I will demo one by one to show you how you work. So first step, I want to show you in the UniData side. So here's the UniData. I already logged into schema 6.0 file structure. So inside the 6.0 file, I can log to. I do create a 6.0 or 4.0 first, so I can log into schema 4.0. So this schema 4.0 account is located to using the UniData A2 subfolder called schema 4.0. Inside schema 4.0 structure, so first step, you can run the command called list underscore schema underscore map, and to see what what is the version. So inside here, you run this command, you will see this command is 4.0 structure. Another easy way, you can go to list the UD SQL tables. So when you try to list this command on the full structure, you see the not file name. So you will know it's the 4.0 schema 4.0. Also, I have a program called you can list the version check to see. So I can call BP call SCHEMA. So it's a very simple schema program to call the schema version check. So I have this program and run it. So basically you will see the version will be 4.0. So that is how you check your schema is 4.0 or 6.0. So if I switch to 6.0 structure, so I can log to schema 6.0. So I can run the same command. You will see the difference. The first command I can show you is run list schema is the X file. So inside here you will see the SQL name is 6.0. So you know right now it's working on the 6.0 structure. The next, you can run the command to list. So when you run the list UD underscore SQL tables successful, you know it's running on schema 6.0. Also, you can using the version check schema API. So that's another way to run in. You will see is 6.0. So you know list account is 6.0. So even right now I running is UniData 821. So I have account running schema 4.0. I have another account running 6.0. So stick with this support both on the same account, same UniData 821 server. So next demo, I will go back to UniData 4.0. So I log to schema 4.0. So inside here, the file structure I already explained to you. So you will see the old UniData file structure. So here, I will show you a little bit the file structure on UniData 4.0. So inside the 4.0, you will see the file called SQL colon, SQL special colon, SQL statistics, SQL table, and other schema file. That is 4.0 structure. If you running is a 6.0, that is the 6.0, and you only have one major file called UD underscore SQL tables, but the other is don't have a file, only is a view, but dictionary is the file. So you will see D underscore DV underscore SQL colons. So that's the big difference on the schema 4.0 and 6.0. So next step, I will show you to how to migrate to different from UniData 4.0 to 6.0. So I can log to schema 4.0 and 6.0. So right now it's UniData schema 4.0 structure. So it's a very simple command called migrate SQL. So that's the command to automatic to migrate UniData from 4.0 became 6.0. But how can you know it's successful? I will show you the command. Let's several different ways. I call the schema API. So right now, all the file, all the schema became 6.0. The next demo, I will show you how to delete schema 4.0. I have a program, basic program called delete schema 4.0 underscore all to delete all 4.0 schema. But on the Windows environment, sometimes the file you cannot delete because the file in use. But you still can look at the simple basic program to look at the file structure to delete which schema schema 4.0 file. But before you want to run this command, make sure you have a copy. When you have some value, you can reverse back to original UniData account. So I will log into schema 4x. So list BP. So I can AE BP delete schema 4.0 all. So that's the very simple basic program to delete. So you can say yes. I will delete all the schema file. Yes. So delete all the file. Delete. You want to delete one by one. Just delete. Yes. Yes. So everything is gone. So after you delete, next time you run VSG, connect to your UniData Schema 4.0 account, then automatic it will generate is a new schema 6.0. The 4.0 basically is gone. So next I will show you is log to schema 6.0. So I have another one called log2 60x. So inside here is schema 6.0 structure. I have similar program called delete 6.0 all basic program. So you can delete when you situation your schema 6.0 file structure is corrupted, so you need to delete all the file structure. Let running is 6.0, so everything is correct. So you can yes. So it's pretty simple. It's a basic program to delete all the view, all the file structure is cleaned up. So it's very simple program to delete all the schema file. The next I will show you is the different what is a UniData file or what is the UniData table or subtable or view. So when I log to UniData, I can log to schema 6. So when you working on the UniData 6.0, so when you try to, for example, inside this schema 6.0, I have a couple different UniData file. So for example, like a state file, you run the SQL prompt, you can select star from state. So it's no privilege file state because state is the file, not the table. So how can you very easy convert state file become state table? Basically, you just run convert.sql. So after you convert, it's fine. Just convert file became the table. So next, you can select star from state. So you can see most easy way to convert UniData file became UniData table is run convert.sql command. The next I will show you is using the code VSG. So when you try to start a VSG, you need to create a UCI data source. So UCI for VSG they call server name. Actually, it's called UCI data source. UCI data source is stored in the UCI.config file. So here the example called UCI.config file. So inside the UCI config file on my machine, here it's called pchain UD. So basically here it's called pchain UD is a UCI data source. So after you create it, then you will see the list on the server name on the drop down box. So here I'm using the pchain UD. For the database name, so you can using full path name. So for my machine, so I can use in U2 UD82 schema 60. So that is called full path name. So I can make a connection. So after I make a connection successful, you will see like this. So when you're using the full path name, you won't create any log file on the server side. So when you want to create the server log, when that kind of situation, then you need to create the alias name. So alias name on Windows, they have called UD_database inside the include folder. So here I will show you how they set it up for the UD_database. I create called 60, called schema 60. So that's the account path, and I turn on the trace_label equals 3. So after I create the schema 60 alias name, so I can use in very simple way to call schema 60 when I make a connection. So after make a connection, you will see in the UniData temp folder, you will see one particular server log file inside here. So UD_schema 60 and the process ID. So that's how you create the UniData server logs. So if you look at the server log, you can see a little bit. They will call a lot of the schema API function inside the server log. So you can see the server log. They will see a lot of functions subroutine will be called. Go to only VSG. So another thing, sometimes you want to see step by step for VSG. So you also can turn on the setting. So you can check RPC log. When you turn it on and say OK, you need to close it and restart it. I already checked it on. So after I create it, you can view RPC log. So let's just how you work for RPC log. After VSG RPC log is checked, so you can go to view and turn on the RPC log. You will see every action. When you list, it will show you each step, how behind the scene to see the logging using the schema API. So I can show you very simple. I have multiple ways. The first way to convert the UniData using the convert.sql command to convert UniData file became UniData tables. The next step I will show you, for example, let's say student 1, I want to show you is turn on using the mapping. So I can set mapping is a SQL. That's the another one. So after I create it, so that way step by step. So here you will create the mapping. So because it's the mapping, you can decide to convert the partial field. So for example, here I can select the first name, edit the last name. I just choose couple file, major. You can multiple to choose. So only choose couple field. So after create the mapping, so inside the mapping, it already, we call the table called student1 underscore SQL is a table. So this table you can try to create a subtable. So basically the subtable, same thing, you can try to map in all the different fields. So that's the way I just select all. So inside here, you see all subtable is successful. So inside you can, based on this, to subtable to create a view, or you can modify. Also, if you based on the original table, you also can create a view. So that's a way to create a view. I select all, so just create a simple view. So here we already have a table, subtable, also have the view. So after you create this, the table and view subtable, you can visible from ODBC client. And also, if you go back to UniData inside the SQL prompt, so make sure I go to the right account. So right now it's here, it's 6.0. So inside here I can run the SQL command called select star student UDENT1 SQL subtable. So I don't see it here, so go back to check the table name. Is what is called the table name. It's called, this the NF. If you look at the subtable, subtable is called student1 underscore SQL underscore NF underscore sub. So that's the name I create. So can student1 SQL NF sub. Oh, select star from student1 SQL NF sub. So you will see the subtable just include a partial field. Another, I can also can select star from student1 SQL. That is the view. It's same thing. If you create a different view, you see the different result. The next, I just give you a very simple command using the schema API called AEBP call schema sub table list. So that's the basic program. So when you run this, so you will see inside this account they have a student1 underscore SQL underscore NF and the sub. That's a subtable. You also have I just created another one, student2 SQL NF sub. That's two different subtable inside this schema 6.0 account. I have another program to show you is to list all the available view. So here, schema view list. So that's the simple basic program to list all the view. So you will see inside this account they have 2 view inside this account. So I hope you can enjoy this simple video. You can learn about UniData Schema 4.0 and 6.0.